This girl gave her seat to an old man. A minute later, she did something that no one expected. The fact that you will see below has been circulating lately through social networks in China. It is not known exactly when it happened or the names of those involved. However, the story that was shared thousands of times brings with it an impressive and unique content that we should all know. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss NY news stories. In that Asian country, many people choose trains as their main means of transportation, but due to the limited number of seats, many people are forced to buy a ticket to travel standing only, and that way I can reach my destination during the spring. The train that goes to the city of Chengdu from Guangzhou is usually full of passengers. Knowing this, a few years ago an old man shared his luck with a passenger who was sitting next to him, saying that he had bought a ticket to travel standing, but since he was one of the first to get on the train, he quickly sat down in that spot, hoping that the owner of the seat would not appear and that another person would not only certainly grab the train, started to move. The owner of the seat never appeared. Meanwhile, there were some passengers who stood in the aisle of the train. One of them was a weak-looking lady who looked to be in her 20s. She couldn't even stand properly and was being pushed by the passengers walking on the aisle looking at the scene. The old man asked the lady with concern, "Miss, it is an ordeal to see yourself on a moving train. You should have gotten on the train earlier and got a seat like me. When you reach your destination—" "Hello, I'm fine, sir. It would take 7 hours to reach my destination than 7 hours. Will you be able to endure this long journey?" "Stop, there's still a long way to go," said the old man, shaking, his head totally worried for the lady. After a while, the older man turned to her and said, "Kindly, miss, I would reach my destination soon. Why don't you sit down and I will sit down?" The lady replied sweetly and gratefully, "Don't worry, really, I'm fine. Thank you." Not long after that, the ticket checker appeared, and when he got close to the lady, he looked at her ticket that something was not right. "Miss, is that not your seat?" referring to where the older man was. "Why are you standing the young woman? Your river is a very old man and has a disability to walk. It would be difficult for him to stand, and he would not endure such a tiring journey," the attendant asked again. "Is it okay? But didn't you tell him? Is he sitting in your seat? Does he not know anything? I did not have the heart to tell him. If he knew that was my seat, he would stand up and give it back to me. I prefer to leave it there," the attendant then looked at the old man sleeping. Then he gave the ticket back to the young woman and spoke to her in a low voice. "Please, if the mayor in the next car would find you an empty seat," and the people who were standing around heard the conversation, and many were amazed. However, the young woman did something more unexpected. She bent down in front of the old man's seat and grabbed a pair of crutches that were underneath. Apparently she had left them there, and no one had noticed music people grow. As you saw with the kind words of the young woman, they were surprised to learn that she needed crutches to help her walk, but she still preferred to travel standing up to allow an elderly person to sit down. Many people today would not bother to give that up, being an elderly person with a disability or pregnant, but luckily, in this society, there are still some who would set an example by helping others, even if they sacrificed their own comfort. This is a somewhat short story, but it certainly leaves us with a valuable message. If all the people in this world were like that young woman, this would undoubtedly be a better place. If you agree with me, please give us a like, share, and comment. I am liked, you are worth. Thank you very much for viewing us. Until next time,